Well, there have been lots of big games in the lead up to the Super Bowl, and of course there will continue to be as we head in that direction. So let's bring in Brian Eggers. He covers everything for us from the gaming companies to the lodging companies to the cruise ship companies, senior gaming and lodging analyst here at Bloomberg Intelligence. And Brian, you and your team have done some work on how DraftKings is positioning itself for the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, so DraftKings and FanDuel, among other things, recently rolled out these prediction market apps, which are separate from their sports books. And this is really to compete more head-on against Kalshi and Robinhood and other of these financial firms that offer these event contracts in a number of states.
How big is it? I'm hearing more and more about this prediction market. How big is this thing?
I mean, this is potentially really large. I don't have numbers in front of me, but the key thing is that Kalshi and Robinhood are trying to do this in all 50 states. There are about a dozen states that have either told them cease and desist because they effectively are engaging in illegal sports betting, according to the states, or a couple states have warned DraftKings, FanDuel, don't do the same thing if you've got a sportsbook license. So what DraftKings and FanDuel did was try to go into states with this product where they don't operate sportsbooks. They can do prediction markets on politics or entertainment events in any state, but the real issue is with respect to sports. That's where they limit themselves.
Let me ask you a dumb question, and maybe we don't know the answer to this yet. Who is the target audience for a sports prediction market versus a sports contract and a prediction market setting versus, just a regular parlay or simple bet in a
so regardless
sportsbook?
of the type of person, in terms of the type of area or territory, think about the fact that you've got mobile sports books in kind of almost 30 states, 30 some odd states, DraftKings, FanDuel, and 25 of them. Other states, big states like Texas and California that don't have legal sports books and sports betting, that's a logical market for Kalshi and for Robinhood to go in there and say, you can do these prediction markets and engage in that even though sports betting isn't active and legal in the state. That's really the big
So what would a Texas and a Florida say about that?
Right. So without going through every state, there are about a dozen states that have either specifically told Kalshi and Polymark or Robinhood, cease and desist, don't do this. A few others have issued letters warning DraftKings and FanDuel do not offer a sports prediction market in a state where you've got a sports bet license. So what FanDuel and DraftKings did is, 17 states for DraftKings, 5 for FanDuel. They're offering this product in states where they don't have sports books and where sports betting isn't, quote, legal.
Who regulates the sports prediction markets?
So it's very confusing because the sports books are regulated by state gaming regulatory authorities. The prediction markets are regulated by the CFTC. So it's state versus federal. And that's been the argument of Kalshi that, we're a financial futures contract. We're not sports betting. We are federally regulated. The states have pushed back and said, no, this is a form of effectively unlicensed sports betting. And ultimately, I think this heads to the Supreme Court. That's certainly the view of Elliot Stein, our litigation analyst.
So what do the casino companies say these days? What do they say? Does that impact their sports book and their sports betting? And
on the margin, to the extent that MGM and Caesars have mobile products, it's very possible they'll look into this type of product as well, again, in those states where sports betting isn't legal. So everyone's going to think about it. And the real other wrinkle is Texas and California, once they realize we may not have sports betting, but we have effectively sports bettors, if you believe that's what prediction markets are, we might as well legalize it. And so there's a whole bunch of ramifications to this.
What about Native American tribes in states like California, in Connecticut? Where did they fit in? How do they fit in?
So it's an issue. I mean, in California, although sports betting isn't legal in California, the tribes have themselves challenged and through legally the likes of Kalshi and Robinhood, I don't remember which one. So, to the extent that tribes have opportunities to operate sports books, which effectively Florida has the Seminole tribe operating Hard Rock betting site, even though DraftKings, FanDuel are not involved. So the tribes very much will care to the extent that this is effectively a competing product as consumers might perceive it.
So is betting just going crazy, the total dollar amount? I see kids, high school kids, having conversations in detail, showing a level of expertise, which really blows me away.
Shocking, right? Yeah.
Kids, high school kids. And I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
It's surprising, and it also gets very problematic when you have college kids, college games, college players. So, but yeah, there's a big national draw to this, and I think I don't think DraftKings and FanDuel get as affected as some might fear in states where they've got a sports book, but in states where they can't operate a sports book, but Kalshi and Robinhood and Polymarket, others are offering prediction markets, that's where I think they see risk as well as opportunity.
Brian, what about the sports leagues, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, the MLB? How do they fit into all this? I mean, are they going all in with the prediction markets?
Well, I think so. They're watching obviously with interest. I mean, the major principles in terms of where this heads are state regulators versus federal regulators, states issuing, in some cases, cease and desist orders, and ultimately, because there's a lot of ongoing court cases, many on appeal, the Supreme Court is the logical destination for the legality of this.
But, I mean, that's
to get resolved,
months,
right?
maybe years away?
Depends on the urgency. I know Elliot Stein believes it could happen potentially as early as 2026 that there's a decision, but we don't know. But ultimately, I think it needs to be clarified and resolved as to who has jurisdiction here.
It is crazy the amount. I mean, just a few years ago, I mean, you wouldn't even have thought this. But now you get sports teams in Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, so they've.
And I think by the way to start, this is leading up to the presidential election. There was a lot of activity on Kalshi and Polymarket about who would win the election, and that kind of kicked off a lot of popular interest in this, which means that's when they became involved in sports prediction markets actively a year ago.
All right.
Also, these prediction markets are big advertisers. Every time I watch a TV show there's an ad about it.
Yeah, I know. They're out there. It's market share. All right, competitive market. Brian Egger, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Brian Egger, he's senior gaming and lodging analyst. Recent addition to the Jersey Shore, so that's always good. We like more people coming down there for Bloomberg Intelligence.
Paul is keeping tabs.
Absolutely.